Hello and welcome to episode 3 of Tales from the Crisps, the named podcast about crisps. I am Josie Hypatia Grounds, and my co-host, sitting across the ornamental table from me this evening, as always, is entirely silent when I was expecting him to say his name.
Yes, hi, I'm Henry.
Hi, Henry. It's been a long time since last we spoke about crisps. Do you feel like there's been any developments in the world?
It's difficult, isn't it? Because EastEnders is 4 episodes a week.
Okay.
You get the cliffhanger, and then you. I can't remember what the cliffhanger was from last week.
Sorry. We're going straight in
we're going
resolving.
We're going straight in.
Driving straight in. I've got to resolve that cliffhanger.
I don't know what's been going on this week. I've been.
You've just been preoccupied with the cliffhanger that you've forgotten from last week's episode.
I just couldn't handle the weight, so I put myself in a self-induced coma.
Okay, you've been cryogenically frozen for the last week, and now I've thawed you out.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't saying anything.
In the lowest setting possible on the microwave, and you've come out slightly crispy around the edges, ready to resume.
Yeah, and I had the weirdest dream.
Oh, wow. What was your microwave defrosting?
I won't bore you with it.
Oh, no. No, everyone loves hearing other people's dreams.
So with the Tatyo man, the Spud man.
Tatyo Man, okay.
Tatyo Man.
Is this a superhero? Is it a Marvel or a DC superhero?
It's a DC superhero.
It's a DC
from
superhero,
Ireland, where DC's from.
Okay,
And he was giving me a tattoo.
So he's Tato Man, but he's also a tattoo man.
Yeah, and
he combines the powers of tattooist and potato. He's a tattooist.
A tattooist.
Yeah, okay. I'm with you. That's easy to imagine.
So he gave me a tattoo.
So is the tattoo using some kind of mashed potato as ink? So you've now got subcutaneous potato?
I don't remember that bit.
Oh, okay. So you just let people tattoo you while you're unconscious. That's fine.
Yeah, so he gave me a tattoo. Of potato.
Okay, potato tattoo from the tattooist, Tatio Man.
Yeah.
This is so difficult to say already. So, you've got a tattoo of a potato that was done by a tattooist called Tatio Man. Quick question. You know how flesh tattooists, like most tattooists are, when they're practicing, they don't want to get it wrong and do a bad tattoo on a human's body. So what they do is they get a side of pork, like a lump of pork meat. No, they really do, like a lump of dead pig, and they practice tattooing on dead pig. With the skin
on?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because...
Not onto the meat.
No, they don't tattoo internally onto like the inside of the... They don't tattoo bacon.
Can you tattoo bacon?
Can you tattoo bacon? Yes, you can. You probably can tattoo bacon. We'll have to wait for confirmation from the...
I do know some tattoo artists.
Oh, don't we all nowadays?
Mr. Tatio.
Don't we all know the tattooist? No, he's real. Or was he? Or is he a Freddy Krueger type character that can travel between your dream world and the real world?
Yes.
It definitely is like that.
He
okay.
is.
So, what does he? So, if he's practicing tattoos, just to resolve this issue.
Okay. I won't tell you about the dream. So, if you just ask questions about the dream.
Well, I want every detail to be covered. Okay. So, a flesh tattooist practices on pork, on a lump of dead pig. Okay. Does a potato tattooist practice on synthetic mash?
No.
Okay, fine. Carry on with your story.
Okay, so he was giving me a tattoo of a potato.
Yep. A
and I looked down on it, and then it started to grow.
Okay.
Like a potato.
Right, so
fast.
Is he tattooing you using potatoes? Do they have seeds?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough, yep. They don't, do they? Potatoes, you plant a potato and it reproduces...
Plant a potato, but what did it start
What was
with?
the first potato? Which came first, the potato or the potato? I don't know. It's a conundrum for the ages, Henry.
Yeah.
So, Tatio Man, the tattooist, was tattooing a potato onto you. The potato tattoo started to grow like a potato plant.
Yeah. And then I looked down on it, and then my whole vision was covered with this potato tattoo.
Oh my god!
So I didn't see my arm anymore.
And did the dream continue from there, or was that such a shocking experience that you woke in a sweat?
Then I zoomed out.
Okay.
And then I was Mr. Taccio, the tattoo artist.
Oh my god, it's recursive.
And then I was tattooing on Mr. Taccio.
Oh my gosh, it's one of those Ouroboros type tales where the snake eats its own tail.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Or it's like a fractal. So the further you zoom in, the more Mr. Tatio Mans you find making tattoos of potatoes onto smaller potato men.
Yeah. Well, I didn't
Continuing
get...
forever.
Yeah, I imagine that's how it went.
Weirdly.
Then I woke up.
Weirdly, and...
I didn't... Yeah.
Not a word of a lie.
Okay.
Weirdly, I had a recurring dream as a child, which involved me initially feeling quite happy, but all I could see covering the entirety of my visual field was a kind of off-white colour. Kind of like the colour of white chocolate, but perfectly smooth white chocolate texture that just disappeared off to the sides of my vision, but it kind of curled off and it felt reassuring and soft and pleasant. But then all of these little fissures would appear, these little cracks, lines would appear in the white chocolate surface, which looked a little bit like the fissures and cracks, the lines, the veins in marble. So kind of like the veins of marble were growing in it, but they had a certain kind of electricity to them. They crackled and they had a luminosity that made them pulsate in and out of the surface. And this eventually covered the entire field of my vision. But at this point, I realised that it wasn't comforting and boundaried like the white chocolate had been. It was now this infinite electric marble that covered my entire visual field. And that started freaking me out because I started to have to conceive of this infinite power that went beyond the limits of my understanding. And that was mildly disconcerting. But then it split in half down the middle, and each of the two halves of this infinite electric marble extended off to become two separate infinities of their own. And then those two infinities split in half and became 4 infinities, became 8 infinities, became 16 infinities. And it just increased in the order of infinitude until I woke up literally in a cold sweat. And this was when I was, about 8, 9, 10 years old. And it disturbed me. It was probably every couple of weeks, 3 weeks, I would have this dream, and it was really problematic. And then I learned in a maths class that the number infinity, that everyone says, oh yeah, infinity, it's the 8 on its side, it means the biggest number possible, you can't have bigger than infinity. Turns out that's not true. Infinity can be referred to as Aleph 0, and there are bigger numbers than infinity. There is Aleph 1 and further limits of infinity. And it's interesting telling you about my crazy abstract dream. It would be less interesting if I tried to explain to you the mathematics whereby you can have multiple orders of infinity. Nonetheless, as soon as I found out and could understand and explain the concept of high levels of infinity, Aleph 0, Aleph 1 and so on, I stopped having the recurring dream. And then I started having a recurring dream about my dad having sex in the back of a purple Volkswagen camper van with leopard print windows. And, the whole thing started again.
Crisps.
Yeah, right. So this week... Oh, right. Cliffhanger.
Okay. Yeah. Oh,
Cliffhanger. Last week, we were discussing Director's Cut crisps.
Okay.
You went on the Director's Cut website.
I can remember
you
that,
found an image of a crisp packet, which was surrounded by small images on a film strip, which you were describing to me, and I was then saying, I think it's Kanye West. I think it's a scene from The Exorcist.
No, you didn't say you thought it was... Oh, yeah, you did, actually.
Yeah.
You got that one right.
You
didn't get Jim Davison and the Hendersons.
You say...
was it
Harry and the Hendersons.
Oh, Harry and the Davisons.
You say that I got it right. I subsequently looked at the image and... and the size... Okay, don't choke.
I don't know why that was funny. No, funny that you looked at...
Yeah, it's funny that I have eyes. That is a terrifying concept. You thought I was just a floating voice in your head. No, but I have...
Sorry, folks.
Okay, coughing fit? Yeah.
It's over
I have eyes of my own. I looked at the image you were describing.
You looked at the...
You were describing images that were, I would estimate, 8 by 10 pixels in size. There is no way to tell what they were of. So you were describing some pixels. I was trying to assign a film to it, and you were saying yes, entirely randomly. There is no way that... But, nonetheless...
Not quite true. I did decide on some of them before, and then you said
said
something that I thought would be funny to say yes to, because I thought, I'd like to...
I feel like this is like...
Is that bad? Or,
and this is why we fall into the category of fake news. We are...
It's not fake news.
This is fake news.
I can't remember. Actually, say, for example, the Del Boy
falling through the bar.
JPEG. What's a small JPEG called?
A JPEG?
A JPEG.
JPEGlet. A JPiglet.
So I was looking at this JPiglet of Del Boy on the floor.
Yeah.
And it was a BBC programme. I think.
Because you could see the watermark in the bottom corner saying BBC.
I couldn't remember what one it was. Then you started talking. I've just got my brain wanders.
Essentially, though, it was a guessing game where you were making something up and I had to match what you were making up.
Yeah, because there was no way to...
Sure. I thought it was...
Corroborate my answers. There wasn't someone there going... It wasn't like underneath it said what it was. And
in the same way that one could say, oh, that's a made-up word, but all words are made up. That was a made-up game, but then again, all games are made up, so it's fine.
So before I had the coughing fit, you were saying that...
So we got on to the final image.
You'd been looking at them online.
You described that image to me.
It wasn't the final image. There was one that was porn.
There was some porno, that's right, yeah.
There's some porno. And then below that, there was another one. And for whatever reason, then we stopped and we never did the last ones and we never will.
No, we will never go back over old ground. We are constantly renewing.
I think there's 4 more on there.
But the last one you said, after, I believe you confirmed that your impression from the JPiglet was that it was a still from the experimental film works of Stan Brakhage.
Yes.
So Stan Brakhage was the solution to last week's cliffhanger.
And what crisps would Stan like?
What crisps would Stan Brakhage like?
I don't know. I don't know where he's from.
You don't know where he's from? Okay.
I've seen his movies.
Yeah, I've showed you some of those.
So I could guess what crisps he'd like, but I think you'd have a better idea of what crisps
he'd like. No, I'm interested to hear your opinion
explain
first.
to everyone who Stan Brakhage is in under 1 minute. Because,
the entire career of Stan Brakhage.
Because this is a crisp podcast, not a podcast.
I would like you to, based on your understanding of the work of Stan Brakhage, describe what you think his favourite crisp is. Then I will tell you what I think his favourite crisp is, based on my intimate biological knowledge.
Do you want me to explain?
Biographical knowledge.
Do you want me to explain who I think Stanley?
So
is?
Stanley Brakhage. Chuck it, Stanley Brakhage.
He could be a crisp. He could make crisps.
He can make Brakhage.
He should make crisps. Is he dead?
Very much so. Yeah, I will explain his death later.
Did he? I think I know how he died.
Okay. Well, no, tell the tale of Stanley Brakhage.
Make sure you do it in under a minute, and I will be timing you. I can take as long as I want.
You can take as long as you want. My response is time limited. Fair enough. Okay.
Because I think you can get more words in a minute than I can.
Okay, so.
All right. So Stan Brakhage is from England. He is dead.
He is dead. Yes.
I think he died from paint poisoning.
Okay.
He made abstract movies with colours and flickering light. So he was one with one of my favourite works of his is a lemon spinning around.
Okay, yeah, fine.
There's a fat DVD full of his stuff.
It's one of those fat DVDs
that you can get from Amazon.
I
think he was all right. I think he had a wife, but I think he got divorced.
Okay.
I think he had a beard. I think he had grey hair by the end.
Yep.
I think he.
I would love it if every Wikipedia page had "I think" at the start of every sentence. I think Donald Trump is the president of the United States.
Yeah.
I think he's 71-year-old.
I think he didn't watch Coronation Street or any other soap operas. I think he might have had a slight appreciation for Sons and Daughters.
Sons and Daughters.
All
my children.
Just for the colour, I just remember the colour on it being quite odd.
Okay.
But I think I think I'm wrong as well. But I think I'm right about a few things. But maybe just the thing he had a beard and white hair.
So based on this actually nearly, in quite a lot of respects, correct biography.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, he did pretty well. What crisps would Stan Brakhage?
Oh yeah, I
experimental
forgot about
filmmaker-
that.
Yeah, it's the most important part.
God.
Tie into the theme.
I might have a little think.
Yeah, okay.
I'll edit this out if I want.
Do 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 do
What's that
do
noise?
do 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 do
recognise that
do
theme
do
tune.
do
Stop,
do
don't do
do
one more
do
abstract one. Like,
do 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 do. Okay, and more abstract one.
No, do that one again. Do that old one.
Oh, okay.
My name is Stanley Brakhage. I'm from England.
You can't just go do as your lyrics.
Start
Okay,
again.
what crisps? What crisps does Stan Brakhage eat?
Doritos.
Doritos. Obviously. Yeah, your
Chili Doritos.
chili heat wave. Chili heat wave Doritos.
Doritos.
Does he dip them in any kind of salsa, or does he have them raw?
That fact I'm sure of.
Of that I am sure.
He does.
I don't think he definitely does.
He does. I don't think this.
Yeah.
Stan Brakhage.
I know this.
Favourite crisps are chili heatwave Doritos. He also uses a dip.
Oh, okay, a salsa.
Both.
A Dorito salsa, or does he mix the Doritos with a different brand of salsa?
Well, he uses any kinds of dips. All sorts of dips. He likes the original Doritos dip. He likes the creamy Doritos dip. He also likes other dips. And he probably eats a few of them, but I reckon he'd make some animations with them.
Oh, okay. Oh, right.
But that's my thinking. I just remember.
So it's interesting. Did you see the one? There's one called, I think, Mothlight, which for which he took blank film stock and stuck loads of insects onto it.
Yeah.
And so it plays just like flash frames of insect wings through the projector. It's brilliant.
So what?
So your biography was pretty good. He's American, not English. The film with the lemon is by Hollis Frampton. He made films by painting directly onto celluloid itself, and as a result of that, he got a poisoning, some form of exposure poisoning, maybe a cancerous something, which killed. So his work killed him in the end.
Yeah.
And
which is how I want to die as well.
You want to die. You want to die working. You want to be like Ken Dodd.
Either of a crisp-related cancer.
Oh, crisp cancer. Yeah. Okay. Do you want to be stabbed by a chili heatwave Dorito through the eyeball?
Yeah, I want to be maimed by Gary Lineker. I want to die.
Die at the hands of Lineker. Fair enough.
The hands of
At
Lineker.
the hands of Lineker.
Oh, that'd be a great book or film.
It's a safe. The hands of Lineker.
Horrible. Imagine him. He quit.
Okay,
eating
so
crisps. He went on.
Plot description of the film. The hands of Lineker.
No, you do that one.
No, it's yours.
I don't know.
You want to see the film? You've got to describe the film.
In the he's
what
he has a sort of David Icke Road to Amaska type awakening type of thing, and for whatever reason I don't know, he's gone to a football match in Brazil, visits a witch doctor.
Is Lineker playing himself, or is someone else playing the young Lineker?
No, he's playing Lineker.
So Lineker plays Lineker.
Yeah, he's not young.
Gary Lineker is Gary
he's
Lineker
old.
in the hands of Lineker. Yeah. Okay.
So he's commentating on a football match, say England versus Brazil or something like that. He's going out with the lads, ends up in some old situation.
Which lads? Name more footballers. Name more footballers.
I don't know.
What about Gaza?
Ronaldo.
I would say Gaza. I would say Peter Schmeichel.
Seaman. There's one called Seaman. I remember.
David
that
Seaman. Yep, correct. We've got lots of goalkeepers, I think, in this. Peter Schmeichel. What about Eric Cantona?
Yeah,
I liked Eric Cantona.
Him as well. What's that other one? George Best.
George Best. Wow. Bobby Charlton. You're listening to the Footballer Listing podcast by people who don't really know much about football.
I'm stuck. There's one that's really
there's one
ugly
that
I don't like.
Is that Peter Schmeichel?
No, it's not him.
Wayne Rooney.
Wayne Rooney.
See, I feel like Wayne Rooney would be the antagonist in the hands of Lineker.
But they don't matter then. It doesn't matter then because it's only the first bit. Maybe one of them's in it. I haven't decided yet because I'm making it up as I go along.
Okay.
So he... Blah, blah, blah,
Oh, God, I thought you were describing a real event, Henry.
No, it's not a real event. It's not made yet.
Okay.
So Hans Lineker, it starts off, basically, he's got a football match in Brazil.
So it's England versus Brazil. We've established this.
Okay. Visits a witch doctor.
You think it's a witch doctor? Okay, this is
voodoo. I don't know.
Dangerously close to racist. Carry on, Hans of Lineker.
Okay, I'm not racist.
No, the film's racist. You're describing a racist film. That does not make you racist.
Okay, well, he's visiting a voodoo person.
Question mark. So he's gone from Brazil to Haiti.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay, perfect.
They've got a football team.
Haiti Wanderers. Yep, they're there. Haiti Wednesday.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay.
So he's visited a witch doctor or a voodoo person.
Yep.
It doesn't really matter.
Nothing really matters, essentially, Henry.
Okay. So he's gone there, and he's got his mind a bit like awakened.
Okay. So he's not been put under a voodoo spell.
No, he's not gone to the witch doctor. I think he's taken to. Right, let me start again.
Okay. Second draft. The Hands of Lineker.
He's gone to Venezuela.
Okay. What kind of racist stereotype can you make about the Venezuelans?
And he's taken some.
Has he gone to Venezuela with a vuvuzela?
Yeah. He's taken some ayahuasca.
He's taken ayahuasca through a vuvuzela in Venezuela. Yeah. Correct.
Yeah. Okay, so he's done that. He has an awakening, comes back, and quits Walkers.
Oh my gosh! Okay, this is a major event.
And then it's just
this will be like the Princess Di dying in Paris of crisps when Lineker quits Walkers.
Yeah. And then it's just
you'll remember where you were when Lineker quit Walkers.
Then it just sort of spirals into the madness of Lineker.
The madness of Lineker. Is that the sequel?
But no, it's called The Hands of Lineker.
The Hands of Lineker,
which could be called The Madness. Then not sure how it ends. I don't want to.
You're not sure how it ends. You don't want to spoil it. You don't want to spoil The Hands of Lineker.
Just a bit where he's like a bit like Arthur Fowler in this episode of EastEnders, where he. After Pauline's found out he's had an affair with Mrs. Hewitt, and he knocks over all the stuff off the table. Okay. I quite like that bit.
Yeah, you like a bit of destruction, a
but
meltdown. A cinematic
maybe
meltdown.
Arthur Fowler's playing Gary Lineker. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Last minute casting change.
See,
instantly when you said the hands
black and white as well.
Art house. Interestingly, when you said the Hands of Lineker, I imagined one of those horror films where someone gets a hand transplant and then they're overtaken by the spirit of the original owner of the hands.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So my one's The Madness of Lineker. It's the sequel.
Yours the sequel?
No, mine's the prequel.
Yours the prequel.
That's made afterwards.
Made after. Yeah. It's a bit like The Time Traveller's Wife in that Lineker de-ages as the films go on.
Forget that bit about Arthur Fowler. I don't want that in there.
Okay.
So it's cut.
It's
like the director's cut.
While we're on football, is this? I want you to arbitrate whether something I thought of years ago is an original thought, or whether this is something that loads of other people thought, and I thought I was original. Right. This is so football themed. It's like we're really targeting the lads bants market here. So there was a time when Walkers introduced salt and Lineker crisps to replace salt and vinegar.
Yes.
Yeah. So what other crisp flavours were there with footballers' names in them? Because I think the real one was Cheese and Owen.
Yes,
named after...
I believe that's right.
Gary Owen? I don't know.
Wait, stop.
So Salt and Lineker, Cheese and Owen. Those existed.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember what the guy's Owen's name is. He scored the winning goal or the losing goal. No, he scored the losing goal penalty in the 1997.
He scored the losing goal.
I don't know.
You kick it backwards.
I don't know anything. I know about crisps. I don't know about... Yeah,
he hit the biggest net.
He wasn't called Will Owen. He wasn't called Steve Owen, but it doesn't matter.
Steve Owen, very different.
It's just going to bug me now for a long time. I don't know.
Gary Owen, Paul Owen.
Can you just have a look on your phone?
John Owen. No, because we can't know, because you've got to tell me if...
Yes, I believe it's true.
So, you had salt and Lineker, Cheese and Owen. They actually existed.
Correct. They were correct.
But I came up with two others. Okay, and I don't know if these are predictable jokes or something that I felt really proud of being original with. Ready Salkshire, because there was a footballer with the last name Salkshire, so Ready Salkshire.
Wrong.
Okay, but
funny.
the one that I think probably about 1 million people had this same idea as me, Smokey Beckham.
Well, that's brilliant. But it's not real though.
No, it didn't exist. I know the only ones that really existed were Salt and Lineker and Cheese and Owen.
What you've done
but why didn't they have Smokey Beckham?
But now they've missed their ball now.
Thou shalt go to the ball.
So what is Stanley Brackage's favourite crisps?
Stanley Brackage's favourite crisps. Well, I would say that Stan Brakhage, because he liked to work with film in its raw form, and he would add his own colour directly to the film without using a camera to photograph things, Salt and Shake. Obviously.
Yes, yeah.
Obviously. He's a Salt and Shake man.
I think it's better than actually. So this week...
So concluding that thrilling episode in What Crisps Would Experimental Filmmakers...
And footballers.
Oh, okay. So this week, the crisps that we will be eating, and I know this is the part of the podcast that everyone is the most excited about. What are they going to eat this week? How are we going to know what crisps... Is that a drum roll?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. So, ready? So do it properly. Ready?
This week on Tales from the Crisps, Henry and Josie will eat Wotsits. We've got a packet of Wotsits here. We're going to sample these. You might have thought in the previous weeks that we were being very specific about trying to find corner shop types of crisps, brands that you would not find in a mainstream supermarket, but you would find in your local independent corner shop or tobacconist news. Can you call them tobacconists anymore?
No.
It's like, you can't really call it a tobacconist when they're hiding the tobacco.
No,
what are they now?
Well, it's
newsagents.
Was it one best or
best only? But they can't be.
Only,
they can't be tobacconists because the tobacco's all hidden. They can't be newsagents because no one buys physical newspapers anymore.
Snacks
shop,
and drinks.
Snack shop.
It's
just snack shop. Tuck shop. Okay.
But
no, we've thrown you a curveball with the curved crisp, the Wotsit.
It's just what crisps I buy when I go to.
The strategy for choosing is what crisps do we have?
Can I mention the shop?
Yeah, of course you can.
Patco.
We do like Patco. It's good. It's open till 12. Yeah, it's down the hill.
It's on Wells Road in Bristol.
Yeah, and they will be sponsoring future episodes.
Get down there because he recommended next week's guest.
Oh, okay.
So it was recommended by Mr.
Patco. No, Mr. Pat? He used to be a postman.
I don't know. Okay. I'll find out his name next time I go down there. So we are going to be...
Of course, can I pause for a moment? We did just...
Sorry, I like doing sound effects.
Was that the sound of pausing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like the guy from Police Academy.
Okay, Michael Winslow, do the sound of pausing. Very nice, you are now paused. We did just do a drum roll to announce what crisps we're doing. We do title the episodes after the crisps.
Yeah.
So people know what crisps to expect as soon as they start playing. And it has now been, probably about 3 hours since we started this podcast, and we've just got to the exciting reveal of Wotsits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite a build-up, wasn't it?
Let's eat some Wotsits.
I'm glad that drum roll wasn't going for the whole bit about the hand of
Lineker and the Stan Brakhage life story.
Bits. Yeah. Because people that are listening to crisp podcasts probably aren't interested in football and Stanley
Brakhage. But, I don't know, I think maybe we invite them in with the crisps and keep them here with the historical, cultural information.
Yeah, and so...
It's a USP.
So let's start at the front of the packet.
The front of the packet of Wotsits. It's, what flavour Wotsits
Walker's, we put all the words.
Okay, all the words, top left down.
Walker's Baked Wotsits. Really Patco cheesy flavour corn puffs. This pack contains energy per.
Oh, you're reading out the energy label. Is this necessary?
Okay.
I think we can stop at the stats.
Yeah. Okay, let's not go too deep into what's.
Let's not overly describe logos. which is a failing that I have. We've already discussed the fact that I think the Walker's logo is a sun and you think it's a circular crisp.
Yeah, okay, well there you go, Josie.
Okay.
It's your turn to have...
one thing I was going to point out about these Wotsits is I feel like they've got all of, aside from the nutritional information and the weight at the bottom, all of the information about the crisps is very central. There's a lot of space above and below it, which leads me to believe that it's like when you shoot a film for television in the 4:3 Academy ratio, and then you crop the top and the bottom off to make it widescreen. Because they've done that with something. Do you know?
They've done it with kettle chips recently. Actually.
Did you know that if you buy the complete Friends, the sitcom Friends, on Blu-ray,
I didn't know anything about
if you
Friends.
buy the complete Friends on Blu-ray,
Right.
not only have they upscaled a standard definition program to Blu-ray with no purposeful increase in picture clarity, but they've also cropped the top and the bottom off every episode of Friends. So actually, when you buy the complete Friends on Blu-ray, you actually only get 75% of Friends because you missed the top 12.5 and the bottom 12.5% of every episode.
You probably missed the curtain rail, which is my favourite bit.
The curtain rail, yeah, well, it's the star of the show, isn't it?
Yeah.
The only thing that they've properly upscaled on the Friends Blu-ray is the font. The font is really crisp. Oh my God, when it says David Schwimmer, you can see every letter of David Schwimmer's name in crystal clarity.
They just made David Schwimmer more high definition.
But every other character is blurry. David Schwimmer has re-recorded every single appearance. And so David Schwimmer has gone on blue screen, on chroma key, and he's refilmed every performance from every episode of Friends, and he's been reinserted into it much older. And all of a sudden it makes sense. He should have been an older man when it was originally broadcast.
Yeah.
It would have made more sense. So yeah, this packet of Wotsits is going to be cropped top and bottom for its cinematic release.
It's got a crazy font going down, hasn't it?
Wow, how many fonts do you think Wotsits has gone through in its career?
What font is that?
Wotsit bold.
It's not. Oh yeah, it would just
Wotsit
be. It would just be
Sans.
called.
It's called
What
Wotsit
Sans
Sans.
even mean?
Oh God!
Don't
ask questions about typography.
5 hours later.
Wotsit Sans is.
Just explain what Sans is.
It's the difference between. It's the difference between.
Crisps.
I never.
Tasty.
I never explain things quickly.
Football boring.
So the difference between a sans font and a normal font, it's short for sans serif and serif, and it's the same.
Another French word.
Yeah, and it's the same as the difference between a Wotsit and one of those Transformer snacks with the bits coming out the top sides. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you look at your lettering, if you look at the lettering and it's just Wotsity, that's a sans. If you look at it and it's got bits coming out the top and bottom like a Transformer snack,
It's transformery.
It's transformery, yeah.
Transformer
So
snackery.
Times New Transformer. Times New Transformer
It'd be
snack.
quite good to put all those fonts online. The crisps.
The crisp font. Oh,
the
crisps font bank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you do that? You can probably draw them, can't you?
I don't know. I mean, would it be? Unfortunately, I think what you would be veering into there would be intellectual theft of. Intellectual property theft.
I wouldn't even steal a bag of crisps, so I'm not up for that.
I wouldn't steal a car. I wouldn't steal a handbag. So why would you steal a movie? Why? Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
I don't steal movies.
Of course you don't. No, you're incredibly above board.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so should we dive in and see what these taste like?
Because I have to tell you, I had a little read of the back. Oh, you're just going in inside, not
straight in
on the back.
No, I'm diving into the. Are they thinner than they used to be?
Have I?
What's it thinner than they used
I
to
did
be?
the drum roll on them, so maybe they've got a bit.
You've compressed them.
Can I have a look?
Yeah, have a look.
They look very small.
They look very thin.
I'm not gonna cry.
How long has it been since you last had a Wotsit?
I don't know.
No, it feels like a lifetime.
I'm quite distressed.
I'm imagining every single.
They were huge. They were huge.
Yeah, they were puffy.
They're not just a bit smaller.
No, they're like half the diameter of previous Wotsits. I feel let down.
I don't know.
Do you think each of those Wotsits is looking out at us and saying, "My, haven't you grown?"
Yeah.
Because last.
Imagine they were alive.
And that's why I became.
Minions, isn't it?
Oh, it's a packet of Minions. Yeah. Maybe they had to change the shape of Wotsits because they were sued by DreamWorks Animation? No, Illumination, the company that produces the Minions Despicable Me franchise.
Because somebody invented Minions in
because
the
Wotsits,
50s. Stan Brakhage.
Stan Brakhage, who directed the first Minions film, and the way he made the first Minions film was he got a pack of Wotsits and just squashed it onto film, and then put it through a film projector. And the little dancing crushed Wotsits, he gave them all voices, he gave them all characteristics. One of them's only got one eye. He's the disabled Wotsit. Yeah. And that's how a franchise was begun.
Crisps, the movie. I mean, there is some movies about Crisps, like the Crisps Chronicles.
The Crisps Chronicles.
Yeah. Okay. But there could be a very good commercial movie about Crisps. Lego Crisps.
Oh, because they've got the Lego movie, which is a movie made entirely out of bits of Lego. And it's very satirical.
Movie,
the Crisps
and everyone
movie.
loves Crisps.
And there's the Emoji movie, which is just made out of emojis. I mean,
why hasn't anyone done the Crisps?
Why hasn't done the Crisps?
Because I'd be down there every day at the cinema.
You would watch the same film on a daily basis for the entirety of its theatrical run.
Yes.
And then buy it on DVD and Blu-ray double pack.
I wouldn't download it. I'd buy it.
Yeah, you pay every time.
And I'd buy all the merch.
And if it was one of those cinemas where they show the same film 3 times in a row, you wouldn't go in for the first screening and just not leave. You would go out after the first screening, pay for a second ticket, go in for the second screening, go out after the second screening, pay for a third ticket, go in for the third screening. And so you'll have paid something like £25. Because there's like £8 for a cinema ticket.
So
now.
much,
Or is it more?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Just download movies.
Shh, don't admit your crimes. Yeah, tip out the Wotsits. Yeah.
I don't know.
This is.
I might lie underneath it.
Okay, yeah. So we've got a glass to describe the scene.
Moment.
To describe the scene, we have a glass coffee table. Henry is planning to pour a pack of Wotsits on top of the glass coffee table and lie under it and have some kind of voodoo seizure while looking up through Wotsity clouds.
Yeah, a Wotsit awakening.
A Wotsit awakening. Yep, perfect.
And a Wotsit.
A Watsoning. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Oh, this is lovely. This is lovely. They are.
Do you want that one?
It feels like the orangey powder, the flavour dust. I'll just carry on talking. You get under the table.
One sec.
The flavour dust on the outside of them seems consistent with my memory, but the shape of the packing peanut that it's covering seems thinner. I'm going to put one on my tongue now.
I think the edges are more beveled.
Oh, you're talking about the beveling now. Now, do you think this is an example of shrinkflation? Where instead of increasing the price of a product, the manufacturer will reduce the amount inside the packet while maintaining a price. So people think
this is a crap trip. I need you to go. I need you to go a bit more psychedelic.
So you need some help. So lying on your back.
I'm pretending to hallucinate in Venezuela.
Okay,
with Gary Islands or whatever his name is.
Gary Islands.
I don't know. With Gary Rhodes.
So in Venezuela, you're using a Venezuela to take.
There's no Venezuela.
While listening to the Macarena.
Okay, yeah, I'm listening to the Macarena. There's no Vuvuzela, but I'm with Gary Rhodes in Venezuela.
Gary Rhodes! Oh my God, okay.
And Gary Lineker.
The two Garys, the new sketch show starring Gary Lineker and Gary Rhodes.
Yeah.
It's Good Night from Me,
Garys.
and I advertise crisps. So what you want me to do is to help your trip.
Move the.
You're trying to. Oh, I see.
Well, I don't know.
This is a very visual thing to do in an audio medium.
Give me a.
I want to give you an experience.
I just want an experience.
You just want. All I want is an experience.
But I don't want to hear about inflation.
I always feel like when something is advertised as an experience, everything is an experience. So if you say, I mean, if someone says, "Come to my event this weekend," it's a music show. You hope that there's going to be music at it, and if there isn't music, you're disappointed. But if someone says, "I'm running a show this evening," it's an experience. And then you go there, you will experience something, even if it's disappointment. It's still an experience. Yeah. You can't deny that you have experienced something.
I do like the word experience.
Okay, like the Doctor Who experience. You could go to the Jimi Hendrix experience.
Yeah, or the...
I would love it if one of the Jimi Hendrix Experience's albums was just a sachet of the smell of Jimi Hendrix. And people would go back to the shop and say, this isn't music. And you go, no, but it is an experience. You're experiencing what Jimi Hendrix smells of. What do you think Jimi Hendrix smells of?
That's just about leather.
Leather, okay.
I don't know.
Just leather.
Sorry.
If he smelled of leather.
I'm sorry.
If he smelled of leather, he would smell of the leather.
What do you think he smells of?
If he smelled of leather, I don't have a sense of smell, Henry.
But still tell me.
If he smelled of leather, I would imagine it would be the leather of a leather sofa after someone had sat on it wearing short shorts during the summer months and their inner thighs had stuck to the leather sofa. So when they stood up, there was a kind of peeling Velcro type noise. And what was left was a kind of sheen, a kind of matte patch of slightly sweat-covered leather.
Trip.
So me describing sofas while you look upward through a coffee table at Wotsits, that's your new trip.
Keep going.
Now that they're trying to make poppers illegal, you've got to get a Wotsits trip. Yeah, I don't think I don't think the kids are going to be abandoning ketamine for the Wotso-vision trick. Although I do think
if they were arriving like maggots, it would be good. So if you could make them arrive like maggots, that'd be.
What if you drilled the core out of each Wotsit and filled it with actual maggots?
Yes, do it.
Yep, that'd be good. Let's do that. Okay.
Do it now.
Yep, yeah. Or you fed a kind of weight supplement powder to maggots until they got the size of Wotsits. This is a really bad position to be eating.
I didn't like that bit.
Oh! Story to tell you related to what just happened.
Should I go back under the table?
No, you can start. Your face has gone very red. The blood has rushed to your head. Yeah, you're looking redder than normal. So,
I nearly choked then.
Okay, please don't. Ripped from the headlines, though.
Okay.
Here's a great. This is a true story because I like telling true stories and also I like lying. But this is a true story, like the film Fargo is a true story. I think last week.
Is it a long one?
I'll try and make it short for you because I know you. I know your attention span is gnat length. Okay, so there's a woman in France. She looks into the window of her neighbour's house and sees two men slumped over on the table with a half-finished meal between them. There's wine, there's some meat and some beans that they've been eating. And she looks in and goes, "Oh, those two guys, they're always getting really pissed up. They probably just had a real drinky, boozy meal and they've both collapsed onto the table." She thought nothing of it. 6 hours later, she looks back, they're still in the same positions. She calls the police, they're dead. Now, they're inside the house. There is no evidence of someone having broken into the house. There is no evidence of them having had any kind of disagreement, any argument. They've both died halfway through eating the meal, and one of them is slumped forward, one of them is leaning back in their chair, but they don't look to have struggled in any way. The police then theorised that there was some kind of botulism in the beans, and so they sent the beans off to be analysed.
Sorry, what's a botulism?
Botulism, it's a microbe within the food that would kill you.
Cool.
Yeah? So they thought there was some kind of hidden tainting to the beans that had killed them.
The beans were tainted?
He thought the beans were tainted. So they sent the beans off to be analysed.
That's what they were eating?
Yeah, they had
it could have been ergot in the bread.
They had some meat, they had some beans, they had some wine.
They didn't have.
I'm trying to make it a short story. I'm not describing the entire meal.
I just can't imagine why you just eat beans.
So, that was the initial theory was that the beans were tainted.
I can see why they were.
So the initial theory was beans are tainted. They sent them off to be analysed. No, nothing wrong. No taint. So they sent off all of the rest of the food. They sent off the meat. They sent off the wine. Everything was analysed. Nothing wrong with it. Perfectly fine. You could eat that whole meal. It would be cold, but it would be fine. And so they were like, well, how did two guys die simultaneously? And it took them quite a while for the autopsy to determine the causes of death. What happened was the older of the two guys, in his late 60s, had lost some of his teeth and he didn't chew his meat properly and it went down his throat and he started choking on it. And normally, if you're eating with someone else and you start choking, the other guy comes around and gives you the Heimlich manoeuvre, you're fine, you both live to see another day. That was a brilliant sound effect of a Heimlich manoeuvre, much appreciated. But what happened in this case was that the older man started choking because he hadn't chewed his meat enough. The younger man had a genetic heart condition, and the shock of seeing his older friend starting to choke caused him to have a heart attack, so they simultaneously died of different causes.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty good. And that was very nearly what happened with you eating Wotsits while lying down.
Thinking about Wotsits, or maggots inside... No, maggots having... Wotsits having supplements?
Like weight gain...
Those big whey tubs. What are they called?
Weight gain. A kind of weight gain supplement.
That you see in the shops.
Yeah. Well, is nourishment one of those?
Yeah,
the cans of nourishment.
So someone's got them in their house, and
the maggots have got into there.
Yeah,
they've grown really big, and 5 of them have formed into a posse that looks very much like one of Gary Lineker's hands.
Yeah.
And so 5 super-grown maggots in a kind of like a rat king. You know when rats join their tails together and form a rat king? It's a maggot king of 5 maggots fighting Lineker's hand. And it's directed by the guy who directed Despicable Me 3. John Minion. Stanley Brackage and John Minion. They co-directed. John Minion.
The classic duo.
So, what to say about the Wotsit? Let's eat a few of them. I was going to mention, as a kind of admin thing about this podcast, do you think our listeners are...
Eating crisps while they're listening.
Do you think our listeners are...
Can we put them all in our mouth and try and
talk? Keep going.
When we have to talk about them.
Do you think our listeners enjoy the part of the podcast when we've got a mouthful of crisps? Or do you think that turns their stomach to hear the sound of 2 people masticating?
No. I'm sure listening to them.
Actually, Wotsits, you can put half a pack of Wotsits in your mouth and they dissolve in about 12 seconds. That's fantastic.
Have you read what's on the back?
What? Oh.
I've read it, so...
Well done you. Oh. Next stop, Ulysses. Do you mean this bit where it says, are you a cruncher or a melter? Do you like to nibble each Wotsit or let it gently dissolve in your mouth? Or maybe you like living life on the edge. Start off with melting and then take a bite, and however you snaffle a Wotsit, it's always deliciously tasty. So it's challenging us to pick a side in the crunchers versus melters argument. I would say I crunch them as they melt, because there's no way to stop them melting.
Just go. Try and do that now. Try and eat one.
Right. For the next section of the okay. So first of all, Henry is going to try to crunch a Wotsit such that it does not exhibit any melting behaviours. Okay. So you ready? Here we go. Can he do it?
Drum roll. No, it's a proper one.
Oh, okay.
Better. One sec.
Yeah. Right. Here we go.
No, it's still melted.
No, it's still melted. There's no way to crunch it without melting.
But as you crunch it, it melts into your teeth.
Yeah, exactly. And it forms like fillings. So
it's
perfect.
Because I eat so many crisps that I don't.
And actually, it's exactly the same colour as my teeth, which are, I believe, C4 on the tooth whiteness scale. When I went to the dentist earlier this year, they were doing a filling. They replaced a metal filling with a one that's the colour of my teeth. And they brought out this colour palette, like a colour swatch, Dulux colour swatch.
Yeah.
And it took the form of a rack of different coloured teeth. And I'd always thought, okay, my teeth aren't the cleanest teeth in the world, but they're okay. It turns out I have the yellowest possible tooth colour, which is C4. It goes from A1 or A0. Henry is trying to talk with 4 Wotsits stuck onto the ends of his teeth, like Nosferatu fangs. He also looks a bit like a racist Chinaman. Just a little
you're
bit.
being racist about me.
Well, I think you're the one who put the Wotsits on your teeth and made that buck-toothed, slitty-eyed
it's
grin.
Just my eyes.
Right. The next challenge.
You're being horrible to me.
Papering over the racism cracks in our.
There's only 5 left, by the way.
There's 5 left, 1 in my hand. And what I was planning to do with this one, you just did the crunch challenge, where you tried to see if you could crunch a Wotsit without it melting. I'm going to see if I can melt a Wotsit on my tongue without crunching it. So I'm going to carry on talking.
You're not allowed to use your teeth?
I'm going to carry on talking. No, I'm going to keep my mouth open.
Okay.
So you can see I'm not cheating. I'm going to balance a Wotsit on my tongue.
I don't think
I'm going to carry on extemporising, as is my wont.
We're going to talk?
Yeah, of course I'm going to talk. We're going to carry on the conversation. And the
That's lovely.
whether our listeners prefer it if we were to eat the crisp before starting the podcast, or would it better to eat the crisp during the podcast so that we have some time before the crisp and after. This is really horrible.
Yeah,
How much has it melted?
It hasn't melted at
I
all.
know, this is there. Oh god.
Just use the top of your mouth then. No, I don't. You cheated then. Just no. Start again.
Okay.
Cheated.
So I'm allowed to put it on my tongue and push it up
You're just
into my
allowed to
palate.
not crunch. You crunched with the. Yeah, you just crunched then. You made it.
Oh, I see what I mean. Okay,
it's not allowed to. Just put, Josie. Just put it behind your gums at the back.
Oh, so
like chewing
like
tobacco.
like chewing tobacco or that last bit of cocaine.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I'll put it. I'm going to rub Wotsits into my gums now.
Rub it in.
Okay.
Because that's. So what's the sound called when like ice is melting? Like the sound of me when I was melting earlier.
What is the descriptive word
Coming out of my
of the
coma.
sound of someone coming back from a cryogenic coma?
Well, it's not crackling, is it?
It's a crackly sound, though, isn't it? Or like when, or when you're walking out onto an iced pond and it starts
breaking,
fracturing under your feet. But fracturing isn't a sound word; it's a description of what's happening. Anyway,
just leave that up there. And
I'll leave that.
just
So
see
for
what
the rest
happens.
of this podcast, I've got a Wotsit stuck under my
What's the
tongue.
other one? There's another one to try, wasn't there? So
Before that, I was going to establish. Do you think our listeners would prefer it if we ate while talking, which means there are bits where you're having to listen to people eat and talk at the same time, which is a bit gross, or do you think we should eat before the podcast starts and then go straight into a review, or do you think we should start the podcast, talk about our anticipation, the lead up, the preamble, and then stop talking and just spend 5 minutes eating, and it's just the ASMR sound of us eating, and then we start talking about crisps afterwards, reviewing it afterwards. These are different options that I thought for the format.
Well, when I bite into a crisp, but the first crisp is, it will send a message to my brain and tell me something about the crisp.
Yeah, okay. You're describing the sense of taste. Yeah. Wikipedia. Dear Wikipedia, please define taste. I think
that when I put a crisp in my mouth, I bite into it and a message is sent up to my brain.
Yeah.
The second bite, a different message is sent up to my brain. The third bite, another message.
Ooh.
And it carries on until the thoughts become...
So there's no such thing as an objective crisp. Every crisp is intersubjective and it has a different... it's like when you have...
I've become tired of it as well,
Okay.
Sort of like, if you've been drinking and you reach your 6 pint and your starts to become... The first one was lovely. The second one was great as well because you really fancied it. Until it reaches out when it just tastes like piss.
I'd just like to point out at this point that the Wotsit that is stuck between my top lip and my gum is melting, and Wotsit fluid is dribbling down my front top teeth and dripping onto my bottom lip as I talk. It's really disturbing. I would advise everyone at home to experiment with... And now my top lip is kind of stuck to my gum. Yeah, it's numbed it. It's like cat. I've been rubbing cat in the form of Wotsits into my top lip, into my gums. But I'm still not allowed to crunch it. It's still there. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's moved.
It's moved a bit. Do you think it's deflated considerably?
Yeah. It's sort of... I don't know. It just looks like your gums are normally like that.
I feel like it's just going to remain there. I think it's never going to get past a certain melting point.
Homer Simpson's gums. It looks like.
Oh gosh, like yellow Simpson gums.
It's only the gums, not any more of you. Although, I am turning a bit yellow.
Oh gosh, I've got Wotsit poisoning. It's coursing through my veins.
That.
Henry is now miming the process by which a Wotsit would crawl up a vein in his arm.
Get it
terrible.
out!
I'm getting a bit woozy from this Wotsits.
Oh
Anyway,
dear. Oh
so-
dear.
Oh well.
There's only 2 left. There's one that's...
So what was the other thing you wanted to draw our attention to?
I don't know.
So the second...
Not going on the website today, are we?
No website descriptions
bothered
today.
to go on
We don't
Walker's
want to get
website.
stuck in a rut. The last 2 episodes we have spent a good amount of our time describing websites.
Which is...
And I feel like that would be a bit of a lost cause because I think Walker's website is going to be depressingly
No,
corporate.
I want to do that in some other...
Yeah, it might come back.
Yeah,
Describing the
no.
internet might come back.
I just think it's a good thing to do. I think it's...
Have you ever watched a film
really
with
slow version
audio
of the
description for the blind and partially sighted?
no.
It's great. The person who is audio describing doesn't say anything when the characters are talking on screen, obviously, but when it's an establishing shot of the building they're in, the location, or people, an action scene where people are moving around, the narrator goes over the top saying, "A country meadow. A horse runs from left to right. Oh, hello, John boy. I believe you have been raising my horses for me." "Oh, yes, I have been raising horses. They've been very good." John boy climbs onto his horse. They ride off into the distance. It's kind of like that. And it's pretty good.
Gary Lineker starts mumbling in Vietnamese.
Vietnamese.
in Viennetta.
Yes, he's gone to the
Gary
land of the Viennettas.
Gary Lineker is under an awning eating Viennetta.
My God, he's almost like a race traitor. He's gone away from the crisps and gone into the frozen dessert section. Do you think Gary Lineker could ever advertise any other food stuff?
Yes.
What food stuff do you think Gary Lineker would be able to advertise outside of crisps? And you're not allowed to say another crisp-like thing like poppadoms. It has to be something...
Bread.
You think Gary Lineker could promote bread? What bread manufacturer do you think Gary Lineker would align himself with?
Warburton's.
Warburton's. Okay.
A bit like Walker's.
Oh, so he can only advertise products that start with the letter W.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just like imagine him eating out of a loaf of bread just with no butter on it, scoffing it, and then
Just on the way back from the shop, he takes off that little plastic tie that's on the neck of the bread bag, and just like puts his hand right in and just tears chunks of sliced loaf out.
Yeah, with no regard to slices or anything like that.
The slicing is just a suggestion of how to eat the bread. You don't have to eat it slice by
just
slice.
go fist in.
Just fists. He just fists
like
all the
a
way
bag
from
of
the end.
crisps, reach to the bottom.
Yeah,
get the good stuff.
He's been surviving on crisps for so long now, he doesn't know any other way of eating. Every piece of food you give to Gary Lineker, he eats like a bag of crisps. If you give him a Christmas turkey on Christmas Day, he just rams his hand in, pulls out the stuffing, pulls out the onion, and just scoffs it. That's how Gary Lineker eats. He does it with wedding cakes.
He does it with drinks.
Don't ever invite him to your wedding cake. Yeah. If you get him a can of Red Bull, he just rams his fist through the top of it and takes out a handful of Red Bull and just slurps it up. It's perfect. So, do you know what we haven't mentioned?
What?
Walker's Wotsits, are they not a Golden Wonder product?
Oh.
When did that transition?
I think it was in the 80s.
It feels a shame that things... It's like, I don't know.
The thing is, I'm not going to use the internet
Okay.
today to check.
Okay, but let's imagine what year...
Right,
So in 1999, Hong Kong was handed back from the British Empire to China. In what year were the Wotsits handed back from the Golden Wonder dynasty to the Walker's brothers?
The Golden Wonder dynasty.
The Golden Wonder dynasty to the Walker brothers.
It has got no face, Golden Wonder, has it?
The face of Golden Wonder.
It's like an old rave record or jungle record.
It's like a white label.
It's like a white label. No face.
Golden
to it,
Wonder
Walker's is like the. It's got his face.
So Walker's has the body of Gary Lineker with a sun on top of it, representing it, whereas Golden Wonder is, I don't know, one of those Buddhist waving cats. Golden plastic, one of those waving its little hand about. Don't know.
Yeah, or an old school record.
Okay, so the mascot of Golden Wonder is an old school drum and bass white label.
Yeah.
Does it talk or move? Or is it just inanimate? It's just a record that just sits there. As the spokesperson.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with it. But the Golden...
No, do we ever know where we're going?
The Golden Wonder dynasty
Okay, the Golden Wonder dynasty.
Is yeah, it was. I reckon it's 83.
83, okay. 83. You think
not 1883.
Do you think Golden Wonder stopped trading in 1983? I can remember Golden Wonder.
They
I would
haven't
have been
stopped
one.
trading. They just sold Wotsits to Walkers.
Do you think they got rid of Wotsits but maintained another crisp presence?
Yeah, they're still going.
Do you?
Maybe they're owned by Walkers. But why doesn't it say Golden Wonder Wotsits?
Walker's Golden Wonder,
Walker's Golden Wonder Wotsits. Walker's Golden Wonder's baked Wotsits. Have you seen this on the back? Sorry.
like Times Warner. It's like two companies that
have merged.
Or like 20th Century Fox.
I think they did actually. I think that's what happened.
Golden Walkers.
Yeah, I
Or
think
like B-Sky B. That's the worst merger
Sky
name.
B, that's the worst.
British Satellite Broadcasting (BSB) merges with Sky to become B-Sky B.
There must be a worse
Awful.
one.
That's an awful merger name.
There must be a worse one there.
I cannot think of one worse than B-Sky B.
Yeah, B-Sky B is pretty bad.
B-Sky B. But they did have hexagonal satellite dishes, BSB, which I thought was innovative. Cool. Yeah, it was innovative.
Do they still have satellite dishes?
No, I think everything is directly fired into our brains using laser guns now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think we've pretty much finished this bag of Wotsits. I've still got one slowly melting.
We've got two left, and I'm saving that for the end.
Oh, as a celebratory final crunch.
No, something a bit more interesting.
Now, another admin question. Is every episode of this podcast going to have a cliffhanger? And we'll find out on the next episode of Tales from the Crisps. Oh God, this one is still melting in my top lip.